So you're thinking about moving to Gilbert, Arizona, and you're looking for someone to give you the bottom line, what it's really like to live here and breathe that Gilbert, Arizona life. Well, that's what I'm gonna do, to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything that is Gilbert, Arizona. Hi, I'm Rich Brecklin, and welcome to another episode of Arizona Life, where we show you exactly what it's like to live right here in Arizona. In this video, we're gonna cover some of the really great things about Gilbert, Arizona, and well, some of the not so great things about this area. So we're gonna start by giving you the top 3 reasons that people love living here. The very first pro of Gilbert is the overall low crime rate. Gilbert, Arizona has around 250,000 people, give or take, and you have less than 5 homicides per year. Now, one homicide is one homicide too many, but for a town or a city the size of Gilbert to have that low level of crime, it's unheard of. It is not common. And really, Gilbert, it's a place that my family and I, we have never not felt safe. Let's get into the second reason that people love living in Gilbert. There's so much to do. I have 2 young daughters and we're very active. So there's things to do outside, inside. You have the RIPARIAN Preserve at Water Ranch. There's tons of parks. It isn't like you're living in the desert. There's truly something for everyone, especially if you love the outdoors. One place we love to take our daughters is the RIPARIAN Preserve at Water Ranch. It's a great spot for them to learn, see, just environment, nature, different animals. It's a really cool and unique place, and not a place you would expect to find, again, in the desert in Gilbert, Arizona. Let's talk about the third reason that people love living here, the small town feel. Again, Gilbert has around 250,000 people, but it still has that small town feel where you still wave to your neighbors, especially when you're downtown in the Heritage District, walking around the farmer's market. You really have that small town feel, but you have all the amenities and the proximity of the big city. So those are just a few of the pros of Gilbert, but let's talk about the cons. Gilbert is exploding in growth. In 1990, there's around 30,000 people. Well, today, that number is estimated to be over 250,000 people. And by the time Gilbert is fully built out, it's estimated that number is going to be closer to 330,000 people. So with more people, you have more congestion, you have, everything becomes a little bit more expensive. Home prices, how high will they rise as more people continue to want to move here? If you can deal with the explosion of population growth, well, then maybe you can handle con number 2, and that is the traffic. So they kind of go hand in hand. More people, more cars on the road. So you really have to be mindful of when you time your commute. If you're driving into Phoenix during peak rush hours, to and from, well, you may be in your car for a lot longer than you first anticipated. One thing you really have to be prepared for and mindful of is the high heat. 115 degrees, well, it's 115 degrees. I don't care how dry it is. It's hot and it can be dangerous. You have to pay attention to where you're going, how long you're gonna be gone, and what things you're leaving in your car. Stay hydrated and just use caution. And it's heat, it's hot. Arizona can kill you. Well, I hope this video gave you a little insight of the pros and cons of living in Gilbert, Arizona. We help people relocate here every day, and we'd love to help you too. If you have any other questions about what it's like to live, move to, and experience everything Gilbert, please reach out and ask. I would be more than happy to answer. And if you want to be up to date of everything Gilbert, please subscribe below. My name is Rich Brecklin with eXp Realty.